You understand this all starts at school, right? We all have to understand that. And I lose sight of that too because I'll focus on this person or that guy's a scumbag or this specific issue. But what is our problem right now? I've been asked this several times because I get interviewed too. Jesse, what's the problem in America? It really comes down to one word: patriotism. And that word has been so stigmatized by the left that half the time when you say that, people roll their eyes as if it's not important. Well, understand this, and we have to understand this, or we're never going to overcome the left right now. Understand patriotism, the love of your nation, the feeling of an obligation to your nation, a duty to protect the nation because you're grateful to live there. Patriotism, that is not like a thing that, well, if he has that, that's nice. Oh, he's kind of patriotic, that's fun. The love of your nation, whatever your nation is critical for that nation's future and success. And it makes sense, right? It doesn't have to be America. It can be a tiny tribe out in the outback of Australia. Or it can be America, or anything in between. If that area, tribe, nation, whatever it is full of people who wake up every day, like you do, you and me, we wake up every day, and yeah, we have our own lives, right? Families, kids, job, everything else, whatever. But deep down, you feel grateful to be part of the tribe, part of the country, and you feel like you have an obligation to do something for that country, an obligation to make sure that country keeps going, right? The same reason you feed your kids. Why do you feed your kids? Well, because you love them, and therefore that love translates into you feeling you have an obligation to feed and clothe them and whatnot. Same thing for a country. If your nation's full of people who feel that way, your nation, your tribe is going to be very successful because it's a bunch of people who understand. Blessed to be here, man. If your nation is full of people who think that nation sucks, you're done. I don't have an easier way to put that for you. And I'll be honest with you right now, and this might be the hardest truth I've ever told on this show. I don't know where we are on that balance scale. I don't know that we have a country with enough patriots left in it to survive. I don't know that. I hope we do. I think we might. I don't know. That balance scale's looking really bad. But setting aside that exact issue, why? Well, how did that happen? I mean, undoubtedly we are blessed, right? You get that. I've used this example before, but I really want to drive this home for you. I have sitting beside me, it's just a styrofoam cup, right? Styrofoam cup. It's full of water, ice water. Do you know how far I had to go? Well, in all seriousness, how far my producer had to go to get me this glass of water? 20 feet? Mitchell, was it even 20 feet? 20 feet away from where I sit right now is this glass of water. Do you know how many more of these I can have if I so desire before the end of the show? With no bathroom considerations, of course. As much as I want. As much as I want. I can drink it till I throw up. How far are you from a faucet that gives you drinkable water? How far are you as you sit right now? You understand all over the world, people will die today because they don't have access to clean drinking water. We are so blessed to be here in America, to be in a modern nation in America. We are. We're overwhelmingly blessed. Now let me ask you this, and this is a hard question. What percentage of Americans feel that way? What percentage of Americans feel that way? And if you don't like how that number looks, well, you don't have to look further than our education system. You see, we're going to talk a little bit about critical race theory now and critical race theory in America and the blowback against it and so on and so forth, and that part's important. But I want you to understand, an anti-American education is not some new thing. This has been going on for decades in America. It's not an accident. We're supposed to pretend like this just kind of happened. It was very purposeful. The communists very well knew they had to take over the education system so they could teach generation after generation after generation that the United States of America is nothing but the genocide of Indians and slavery and, of course, the horrible civil rights violations of black people, and that's all America is. Thank you. Have a good day. And soon you have generations of people, they don't even think about the blessings of a glass of water, and they certainly don't think about making America even better, a duty to America. Soon you have a generation of people, generations of people, they think this place kind of sucks. And if you tell them something they're doing is harmful to America, you know what they'll do? Deep down inside, if not right to your face, they'll go, yeah, America deserves it. And it starts in school. One mom apparently has had enough of it.
I have no issue hearing what you have to say, but
Why can we not let the public speak? Why can't we let the public know that you're teaching our children to go out and murder our police officers? Do you want the proof? I have the proof. Is that what scares you, the proof? That a parent actually standing up against all of you? Is that what scares you, to call out the names of these people? You work for me. I don't work for you. You have a duty. We are entrusting our children to you. We teach our children morals, values when they grow up to commit crimes and end up in prison and kill a police officer. It's our fault? No, it's your fault. You're emotionally abusing our children and mentally abusing them. You're demoralizing them by teaching them communist values. This is still America, ma'am. And as long as I'm standing here on this good ground earth of God, I will fight. And this is not the last of me you will see.
Daggone. Mr. Producer, go ahead and get that woman on the show, please, if you wouldn't mind. Daggone. But she's right. Parents, look, there's been a lot to look down on over the last year. There has been, obviously. We don't need to go over that. We talk about it all the time. If you want to feel better about something, feel better about this. More than at any time in my life, Americans like you who actually care about this place are awake and alert to just how bad the anti-Americanism is out there on the left, and they have had enough of it, especially parents. We see this all across the country. There are billboards going on, billboards going up outside of a New York City prep school that was doing all this filth. They're blasting away at it. These are not the only ones you see out there. There are people, there are actual whole organizations that are propping up, that are criticizing these schools, going after school boards across America. Many of these people are friends of mine. There are lawyers getting involved. If you want to feel good about something right now, feel good about the fact the right is awake and alert, that the left hates this country. Hates this country. And we have to accept that. We have to accept that about our fellow Americans. I mean, I know that hurts to say. They are our fellow Americans. But you don't get to look at the guy next to you anymore and say, we're just a couple dudes that love America. You don't know that. You don't know that. And look, part of critical race theory, reparations? Wait, what? Paying somebody now for something their ancestors went through, or someone's ancestors that what? I mean, you got a girl calling it out.
I'm seeing a lot of talk about reparations on TikTok, Twitter. There's a pastor in Tulsa who said we cannot have true reconciliation and healing without reparations. I don't agree with that. It's 2021. How are we to determine who gets reparations and who doesn't? Again, it's 2021. Not every black person is the descendant of a slave, and not every descendant of a slave is black. And not every person who was a slave was black. And are we talking about slaves who were freed when the war ended, or slaves who were freed maybe even decades after the first slave ships arrived? In a lot of the northern states, slavery ended just after the Revolutionary War. But I digress. Reparations as the first step to healing? The first step to healing is forgiveness. If the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, well, they don't deserve forgiveness, sit down, let me learn you a thing or two. Time heals all wounds, but if you have a wound that hasn't healed, it's probably because you're still picking at it. If you fill your heart with bitterness, there's no room for joy, there's no room for peace. Holding on to bitterness is bondage, and many of y'all have chained yourself to the dead. Even worse, some of y'all have passed that bitterness down to your children. Forgiveness isn't for that other person, it's for you. It's to set you free.
Daggone. Now, if there's one person we don't need to hear from right now, one person, if I had to pick one person, I would be like, let's just make sure that guy stays home for a couple years. One person that's not going to provide any healing is one Barack Obama. You see, Barack Obama, I'm going to try not to get my blood pressure up here. I'm going to do the best I can not to get my blood pressure up. I despise Barack Obama, much more than I even despise any of these modern Democrats. More than anyone else, he ushered in this era, this cultural Marxist era. He packed the federal bureaucracy. To his credit, it was a smart move. He packed the bureaucracy with a bunch of America-hating communists who felt the same way about the country that he did, and then spent 4 years, then spent 4 more years dividing up the country by race, by this, by that. America sucks, America sucks. And now, of course, at a time where patriotism's at its lowest, Barack Obama's out there doing sit-down interviews.
You would think, with all the public policy debates that are taking place right now, that the Republican Party would be engaged in a significant debate about how are we going to deal with the economy, and what are we going to do about climate change, and what are we going to do about, lo and behold, the single most important issue to them apparently right now is critical race theory. Who knew that was the threat to our republic?
The fact that Barack Obama's telling you it's not a threat to our republic, tells you all you need to know. That is the threat to the republic. All the other issues we face, no matter what they are, all of them are solved if we have a country full of patriotic people who believe they are blessed to be here, who love the place, and therefore feel an obligation, a duty to their country. And not one of our problems will be solved if we have a country full of people who think this place sucks and quite frankly deserves to be brought to its knees. That's a fact. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.